one. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Happy Musician Vlogcast. I'm Candace Lark, your happy musician, and my guests today are Jeffrey and Andrea, and they are the founders of the Ill-harmonic Orchestra, which is a merge of hip hop and classical, and I can't explain it. I have no words because you have to see it in person. They actually have an event coming up, which we will talk about during the broadcast. So if you really want to get a good dose of some amazing music and amazing talent, you're just going to have to watch it and you're just going to have to attend. That information will be on the broadcast later. Andrea and Jeff. So first of all, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us. We're super excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Yes, I feel honored to have you here because you guys have done a lot with the Ill-harmonic Orchestra. I mean, musically, but you guys also give to the community. You are a little bit of philanthropist here. Oh, there's my 6 o'clock tongue that's gone. That's from teaching all day. My tongue's tired.
Yes.
But tell me about the Ill-harmonic Orchestra, how that came to pass, and what is coming up next that I want my guests to know and attend.
So my name is Jeffrey McNeil. I am the Phantom. I am the composer, MC, and maestro for the Phantom and the Illharmonic Orchestra. Basically what it is, it's a combination of hip hop and classical and R&B and soul and just a mix of many genres and influences that we've had over the years. I first started mixing hip hop and classical music way back in the 80s. I won't say the exact date, but it started from there. And Andrea and I started performing together about 20 years ago. And it's been an extremely crazy ride, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's been awesome.
I could attest to that. I've attended your concerts and unforgettable. Like I'm like chomping at the bit to more of your creations. But Andrea, so you guys started this together, right? Or was this a mutual thing because you guys are husband and wife?
Right. So I'm Andrea Cohn McNeil, also known as the Pheonix. And actually the vision for the orchestra started with Phantom. And we started dating, and he found out that I was a singer and had a love for singing. And I found out that he was an MC, and the rest is kind of history. So the orchestra has grown over 20 years from its original inception to what types of musicians we use, to the types of venues we do. And it's really just been like a full circle sort of dream for us. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I should tell everyone they have performed at Carnegie Hall, and it was a packed house.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure after this whole COVID thing, I mean, you guys will end up back there again, probably more than once, because it's phenomenal.
Yes.
Thank you.
The opportunity to perform at venues like Carnegie Hall and Kennedy Center, our part of our dream and our mission is to provide opportunities for musicians who look like us, and it was a great endeavor for us to be able to not only put musicians who look like us on stage, but to put audience members who look like us, in the seats, people who wouldn't necessarily feel welcome, at a Carnegie Hall or a Kennedy Center. And they came out and they were able to bring their kids, who play the cello, and they grew up listening to the music that inspired them. And they were able to look on stage and see someone looking like them playing in a venue, like that. And that's really what it's all about for us.
Yeah.
Well, you're doing it. And that I noticed that when I was in attendance. And even like what was even more incredible was a lot of the musicians that were playing had students, and I swear all of their students had attended. Right. And were just more excited for their teachers, and probably their teachers were excited for their students' performances. And I love to see that, the kids cheering their teachers on, and they all look like us. And it was empowering. It was
Yeah.
definitely empowering. So
Representation is in every facet is obviously tremendously important. And the ability to see yourself represented in something that you do, when we don't see that on a regular basis, regardless of what that forum is, it inspires people and allows people to continue to dream. And it's super important for us, because I don't think people realize how little we see our own reflection in every facet. And I think one of the tremendously amazing things for Phantom and I throughout the course of this journey is how many tremendously talented classical conservatory trained Black musicians and musicians of color exist. And
we're out there, yes.
They are really out there. There's so many of them. And, unfortunately, the classical world would have you believe that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And what we found in this journey that's completely not the case. And it fills us with so much excitement and enthusiasm and hope for what the art form can become and where it's going. And it's one of the reasons why we continue to push forward and to drive this mission, for sure.
Yes.
Well, your mission is necessary, obviously, and I'm behind it 100%. And I think that the legacy that you're building is, I think it might be bigger than you might even realize, So when I was talking about interviewing you guys, I was very pleased about how many people knew who I was talking about, and
Awesome.
the stamp that you are leaving, where you go, and they're like, oh yeah, we know the Phantom, we know the Pheonix, and we know what they're doing, and we love it. So keep doing it, because you're making a much needed positive impact, and it's it's going to live beyond you. So don't stop doing it.
Thank you. We're not going anywhere.
Good, because I want to have you back after, hopefully after, because I'm pretty sure I tell everyone that I talk to, because that's why you're on here. I have to talk to you on my Vlogcast before you go on Oprah, so that I I interviewed them first.
Exactly.
I was like, you're headed there, but so just remember me when you get there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're all about the grassroots, homegrown. We're all about it. So you have nothing to worry about.
I feel good.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm a happy musician there. So now you have a performance that you're going to do virtually in October. And tell me a little bit about this, because I'm ready for it.
So the Facebook has kind of allowed people to do online performances. So we wanted to kind of innovate in the space. So what we're doing is we're getting a group of musicians who have pretty much performed with us all over the United States. We're getting together and putting on a full concert. People can't get to the venue, so we're bringing the entertainment to your living room, and it's something, it'll be our first basically online performance, and it's something we're really looking forward to. It'll take place on October the 24th, and we're super excited about it.
Yeah, and one of the things that Phantom forgot to mention is that this new platform that Facebook has introduced also allows for musicians to get paid, right? And the reason why that's so huge is because all the musicians that we work with are musicians by career. They're not necessarily just working and gigging on the side. This is their livelihood. And COVID has pretty much stopped all of that in its tracks. All live performances and that sort of thing have been eliminated. And musicians are struggling. People who do this for their life, even teachers, the musical teachers, if they don't have a forum for, remote learning in some way or fashion,
Yeah.
People have lost income, and they've lost, the thing that drives them and makes them happy, and the thing that fulfills them. And we're just really, really excited about the opportunity to get people working again, even if it's just for a couple hours. We're looking forward to hopefully bringing some smiles and some happiness to people who are stuck in their house for going on 5 or 6 months, because we know that for the most part, a lot of people, with the exception of the Target run and the supermarket, are still working from home and are really not going places. And we're just really hoping that this can uplift people and just make people smile, like even if it's for a short period of time. And we really want to make sure our musicians have an opportunity. So.
Well, once again, you're taking care of the musicians. You're making sure people, their souls are going to be fed because they're hungry. And I was saying this earlier before we logged on, I don't think there's any way you can go wrong in October, because people are hungry, they need it, they want it, and that's the audience is hungry, and the musicians are definitely hungry. So I think all of that is just going to bring a great energy to your performance in October, and it's going to show, I'm pretty sure, because I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to pay to watch, and I'm going to get everybody I know to pay to watch. So I think that at this time, you're absolutely right. We need to get paid.
I think, Candace, I think the other really interesting thing is how COVID has made us be more innovative, right? And it's made us be more tech savvy, whether you wanted to, whether you come kicking or screaming, or whether it's like, second nature to you. And it may really be the new way for some time, until we can get back into spaces where you can offer people art.
Exactly.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how it plays out. And, we're seeing where this goes with the future in terms of where we can take virtual performances. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to expand. It doesn't have any choice to, and necessity breeds innovation.
Right.
And we're not going to stop playing, singing, dancing. We're not going to stop making art. It's just natural. It's like breathing. It's not going to stop. So there has to be other ways that we're going to learn to get it out there. And you're right. Like I've been telling everyone, like, this is the time for innovation. And if you're not innovative, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a bit. So,
Get on board.
And these people that are doing things virtually, performances, what I'm doing, keep doing it, and the other reason that I'm doing this is because my platform and my platform is the happy musician, but a happy musician is a successful musician as well. And I really want to talk to other musicians and put it out there, say, hey, this is what other people are doing. This is what other musicians are doing. And they're just like you. So, have no fear, take from, what I'm offering you, take from what you can, and just go, just keep on moving, keep on keeping on, as my mother would say. Just keep on keeping on. So I've got a few questions for you guys. And this is interesting because your answers may not match, but that's okay.
I don't know. They might. We've been married for a long time, so
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be like that old show,
Newlywed Game.
Yes.
They
put the little signs up, and then you're like, "Ooh."
It's like, yeah.
What are you talking about? I don't even know who you are.
I do not like pie. What makes me not like pie?
Exactly.
Well, hopefully this won't be that. It'll be more interesting, I should say. So my teaching tongue is like so out. So my first question, what are you currently reading? It can be fiction, nonfiction. There's no wrong answer to this, even if it's comic book. What are you currently reading?
So I'm reading Rakim, Sweat the Technique. It was gifted to me by my beautiful wife, and it's he's my favorite MC. Him and Big Daddy Kane are my 1 and 1A, and it's I thought I knew a lot about him and his process, but reading, his words and his thoughts, it really kind of, brought some of the things that I thought I knew, to a greater understanding, and the ideas about the way that he wrote rhymes, and he composed his music and things like that. And it's intrinsically, I do some of the same things without knowing that, how big of an influence, he was. So, that for me, that's a great read. And I thank my wife for giving that to me.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Andrew, what are you reading right now?
I am currently reading a book called Next Chapter. It's actually written by a family friend who is she's in her 60s. And she has this, she's decided to start a new business venture. And she really wanted to sort of showcase and talk about her journey and how she worked in finance and then was laid off from that position. And that basically you are not ever too old to start a new dream or to dream, period. So she's talking about this new endeavor and what it took for her to sort of build that confidence within herself, to not be so fearful about what it means to start the next chapter of your life, regardless of when you're starting it. And the other book I'm reading, I'm finally making time to get into Michelle Obama's Becoming. So
read this. It's on my list. I have such a long list, but it's on my
Yes, been on my list for a while. And COVID, one of the other things that COVID has afforded a little bit of additional time to try to, get in some of the things that we back burner as we get busy and we just kind of don't make enough time for ourselves. So
I've definitely, experienced. There's a lot of things I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been trying to complete this for years, and it's done.
I did it in 2 months when I've been trying to do it for 10. Right.
All right. Yeah. It's just, and I hope that, this is an awful thing, but I hope that stronger family units come out of it. You see that one commercial where the kid's like, oh, we've had dinner every night together and we've never done that, and it's been,
right.
I love it, so I'm like, I hope that those types of things, outside of the very awful things that are happening, just continue. There's a silver lining in everything, even as bad as it is. There's you got to come out with it. You got to learn from every situation.
Absolutely.
My question. Okay, this one's gonna be a hard one. It's usually a hard one for musicians. What's your favorite thing to play and sing? Your favorite piece, I should say.
You want to go first?
Yeah. I would probably say to this day, I have a couple, but probably my favorite is Love Ballad. Hip hop's Love Ballad is one of my, I'd probably say it's really at the top of my list for songs that we perform. First of all, the orchestration is just amazing. And every time it's funny because whenever we're on stage and I hear the strings, I find myself staring at the strings and I'm like, oh, you're supposed to be singing. So you need to pay attention because the orchestration is just so beautiful. And I love to sing it. It just feels good. It's a take on LTD's Love Ballad, which is also our wedding song. And it's actually a fan favorite as well. It's one of the songs that when we perform, people that come to the show, one of the songs they love the most. And it just always feels right. No matter what venue, if it's a big venue or an intimate venue, it just always feels good. Always.
Yeah. Love Ballad. I'm familiar with it. And that's good. All right, Jeffrey.
Well, she stole my answer. But
ding, 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 ding.
But my second favorite would probably be Sweet Dreams. And especially in times like now, we've kind of merged Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech with the Eurythmics' "Sweet Dreams," and through some hip hop, on it. So it's really like a combination of a lot of things that are intrinsically us.
Yes.
So we when we get on stage and we perform that, and we ask the house to dim the lights and people to hold their lights up, and it really feels like everyone is sharing in a part of the performance. When we do that song, and it really fuels us with energy and allows us to kind of drive through the ending of the song, because the third verse really, for us is kind of powerful and meaningful. So, Love Ballad would definitely be my favorite, and then Sweet Dreams would be behind that.
All right. Is there any chance we may hear these songs in October?
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So I've heard both of these, and you definitely need to log in. So the information, just to let everyone know, the books that they're reading, I'll be putting links up to that. And we'll put links up for your performance and how they can, purchase tickets or, well, virtual tickets.
Yes.
Awesome concert. So all that'll be on my website when this goes up. And my next question to both of you, we'll see. I don't know. You guys are doing really good. What two people have been the most influential to you musically, and why?
So from a hip hop perspective, the two people who would probably be most influential to me would be Rakim and Dr. Dre. I feel like I'm a combination of both of those from a hip hop perspective. From a classical perspective, it would be Vivaldi and Beethoven. In a I guess rest of the world music, it would be Prince and Quincy Jones. So digging into just different facets of the music, those would be like two from each section.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally see that. And that's so good. I have no words for that. All right, I gotta digest that. All right, Andrea, same question.
Oh God, that's so tough. That's such a tough question. And then Phantom had to break it down into all these specific genres. He had to, show off a little bit. I would say from a hip hop perspective, two biggest influences would be Lauryn Hill. Because she always did the emceeing and transitioning into being a vocalist so well from the beginning. Definitely an inspiration as a young woman. And then I would probably say second in hip hop would be Big Daddy Kane. One of my favorites. I'm a kid of the '80s, so he was one of my favorite rappers at the time.
I know, it's like
soul from the soul standpoint, I would probably say Donny Hathaway.
Okay.
And Mary J. Blige. So both of them, and obviously, one contemporary, one not so contemporary, and there's so many other people in between, obviously. It's really hard to narrow it down. But one of the things that was always stuck out to me about Donny and Mary is their ability to emote through their voice in such a way where you could feel every emotion. You could feel their sorrow and pain. You could feel their elation. And that I always gravitated to performers and artists that made me feel what they were feeling in the moment, where you can almost create the imagery of what they must have been thinking or going through when they wrote the song. So those two for sure. Classical. I would probably say, and I'm sure this sounds so cliche, Vivaldi, always. Just quintessential, some of the quintessential stuff, and Mozart, because he was so in your face, innovative, and kind of raw and in your face for the time. So
hold back. He was just like, look, here I am. I mean, they were the rock stars.
They were.
they showed up. People were like, "Oh my God, yes, I'm here."
Clutch the pearls. Did you just say that? Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Gotta love a rebel in there. They were their rebels, the rebels of their time.
their time, and they still are rocking it. So, that all fits. So, and I like how you mentioned how you gravitate to the people that can make you feel their music, because that's one thing that I definitely as I go through life, I try to remember. People will forget what you did and what you do, but they will always remember how you made them
feel.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's why I had to get you guys here, because when I attended your concerts, I left on such a high. And usually, and I call it the musician's high, but I was on such a high, and I'm like, I didn't even play one note. I just was there. But I was like on such a high, and you definitely do that. You two, you definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? You envelop the audience, and whatever piece is going on time, and we get it. It's clear. Your message gets across. We feel it. We understand it. So I'm not surprised that you gravitated towards people do that for you, because you're doing it yourself. So
that's really meaningful to hear you say that. It means a lot to us, and that's not something that Phantom and I take for granted. People feeling something when they walk away, whatever that emotion is, but when people leave feeling glad or uplifted, inspired, it's something that really humbles us, and it's again why, even when sometimes being an independent musician or musicians is difficult, and having your own business endeavor is difficult, it's the thing that drives us. It is the driving force for us to stay the course and to continue to do what we do, so that we can give a little bit of that to people, to our audiences. Yeah,
you are doing it, and I will keep saying it as long as
and we will keep appreciating it.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm happy to share that with you, because it's fact. It's factual. It's my whole family attended, and we couldn't stop talking about it. We talked about it, I think, for like a whole month. It's just like, I think poor Jamal, who performed, he was like, yeah, okay.
He was like, I was there, guys.
I played. I know. I was like, but it's so awesome. But anyway.
But actually, that was, truthfully, the fact that the audience was filled with family and friends was what made the Carnegie performance like that much more special. And I probably put prepositions and things and all types of things together that you're not supposed to do, but that's what made it so special, is that the audience was filled with everyone's friends and family. It was awesome. It was so good, just wonderful.
Now I've got like pins and needles. I'm all ready for October. Like chill, because it's a little far away. But my last question, it may seem a little redundant after the wonderful conversations we've been having, but what do you guys do to keep happiness in your art? What keeps you saying, I'm still getting joy from this? This is still fulfilling to me.
I think it's us being honest and being true to ourselves. Being starting off as a young musician, there's always this pull to follow the crowd or be something different. I remember when I first combined hip hop and classical music, and I was super excited and took it to my friend's house and played it for him, and he popped the tape out and threw it across the room and told me it would never work, right? Like that was 3 decades ago. And I still give him an elbow about it whenever we talk about it. Being true to ourselves really has allowed us to, be honest, and you can feel it. Like, so many people have told us that you can feel that when you're on stage, and then she and I are having banter. It's real, you know, and she and I are, you know, performing these songs. It's real to us, and I think that translates, and that allows us to maintain being in this happy space, and we're not being someone who we're not. And that would, you know, the musicians would definitely feel that. When we started out, you know, we were dragging, you know, members of the Philadelphia Orchestra to clubs, you know, these 50, 60-year-old people in a nightclub, you know, playing 8-bar loops of Beethoven, and it didn't hit, right? It didn't catch on at that point, because the audience can see the musicians up there just playing the notes, you know. But when we found musicians who, like ourselves, love hip hop and love classical music, and it just really all came together, and the audience can feel that.
It shines through. It does. Yeah.
So this is a little sappy, but I think that part of, you know, just to piggyback a little bit off of what Phantom said, is we have a genuine love for the art, and so much, we love each other so much, and we share so many common thoughts as it pertains to music and art and just everything. And I think that our love allows that honesty to come through, because, you know, it comes through in a way that is genuine. And that's one of the things that people always remark when they come to our shows, and they say, you know, there's this husband and wife duo on stage, and how awesome that is for them to see that. And especially a couple of color, like, you know, melanin enriched people doing this together, and what that means to them. And to his point, if we didn't genuinely have that love, it would be so evident in everything we do, as it pertains to the art form. So there's real, genuine love for each other and for the art form. And I think that that's part of what allows that to shine through on stage. The other thing that we do is we try to laugh a lot, in general and in life, at each other, like just whatever, because it lightens the heart, and it allows you to be a little bit freer. When you're on stage, it allows you to just have fun. And then I think lastly, and this is a big one of the things that we started doing in the last few years is we have a few of our core and favorite musicians who travel with us. And when we travel, we stay together. We actually get a place, we get a B&B, we have meals together, we fellowship, we stay up all night talking, you know, like it creates this other level of family and connection. And then that connection comes through on stage, and that wasn't even intentional. That was never even the purpose of why we started doing that. It's just what has manifested, and it's worked, and we love it, and it makes us so happy that we have this other family, you know, this musician family, this music family, and we're really grateful for it, to have it.
Well, I mean, it certainly shines through. I mean, it's just the love and the dedication and the determination, it all shines through, and it's inspiring, you know. So I'm so happy I had you on here, and I hope that the musicians that watch this just are as blown away as I am, and just, you know, leave with such a high, just the fact that we weren't even playing, but just the talk and the conversation that we've had, and just understand, you know, what you can do being a musician, even right now during COVID. So yes. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for sharing little pieces of your heart and your soul and of yourself with me and my viewers. Just to let everyone know that I was trying to remember. Oh, wait, did I forget already? I might have forgotten. It was a little tidbit that I was reading about Jeffery, and it's on the Ill-harmonic website, and it was how you started writing when you were 8. Is that what it was?
Yes.
8, okay. Because that blew my mind. I was like, I have to tell people this. I was just like, it just seems so. I was like 8 years old to start, and you were writing hip hop. Was it hip hop only, or you started mixing early?
So I started out writing like R&B songs. I was a little
Ballad beer.
romantic 7-year-old, writing R&B songs, singing in the church choir, and my father introduced hip hop to me and played me Rapper's Delight, and I started writing rhymes. And it really felt like that was my voice, and I used to go out to the block party and kind of beg the DJs to let me rap. It took a couple years. I was carrying a bunch of record crates before they let me rap. But once I got on the mic, I decided not to put it down, and I've been doing it ever since.
So there you go. So I just had to share that because Mozart, okay, I see the correlation, but I just had to get that out there because I was very impressed, and I did remember it. So once again, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Everyone, I want to thank you for watching the Happy Musician Vlogcast. If you want more information about the Illharmonic Orchestra and what they are up to, you can go to my website, thehappymusician.com. And until then, I will see you at the next vlog. So stay well, stay safe, and stay happy. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.